Hello and welcome to Infosys Finacle Innovation Talk Series. I am Puneet and today I'm delighted to have with us Ms. Catherine Casas, First Vice President and Head Blockchain Center of Excellence, Digital Assets Markets and API Marketplace at UnionBank of Philippines. Welcome, Catherine. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for inviting us to join this annual event. So it always gives us great pride and joy every time, Union Bank represents the Philippines in the global stage. So thanks so much for this opportunity. We are happy to be here as well.
Oh, it's our pleasure. And first of all, many congratulations to you and your colleagues on winning the Infosys Finacle Innovation Awards yet another time. And Union Bank, to my experience, has been a pioneer for many years. We have associated with you. The bank has always been among the first in the region to embrace technology-led innovations. And in fact, your recent decision to subscribing to Finacle Digital Banking Software as a Service on cloud is an inspiration from several other banks in the region as well. And I believe that will further accelerate your innovative journey. And in your role, I think, your title says it all. You have a very exciting role, a role where there's lots of action and things are evolving super fast. And that gives me a lot of excitement about the opportunity to have this discussion and learn from your experience and insights. So let me not take further time and start with a very simple request. May I request you to actually give our global audience a brief introduction about Union Bank of Philippines and your role?
Sure. So Union Bank of the Philippines, as you've mentioned, has always been among the first to embrace technological innovations in banking in the Philippines. And as you've mentioned, it really is to empower our customers. It embraces the future of banking and is committed to be the Philippines' leading digital bank to best serve the growing needs of Filipinos everywhere. So we are just proud to have consistently been recognized as one of Asia's leading companies ranking among the country's top universal banks in terms of profitability and efficiency. But on top of this, over the past years, especially, Union Bank has garnered a record-breaking number of awards and recognitions, especially for its digital transformation initiatives, which we gladly share, of course, to everyone. But also, aside from this successful use of technology, we also take pride in the evolution of our culture as we have transformed our people, so whom we said we will not leave behind as we digitized and automated our processes. So it really is to prepare for the future of banking and continue to remain relevant for our customers. And in this, of course, we try to address by working tirelessly to provide a great customer experience. Some of the most recent awards, just to mention, the ones that we got last year that are worth mentioning for us include the Asia Trailblazer Institution of the Year from Retail Banker International, the Best Bank Transformation in Southeast Asia from Global Banking and Finance, Best Bank for Customer Experience in Southeast Asia from Global Brands Magazine, and of course, a four-peat Digital Bank of the Year from the Asset AAA. Also, a back-to-back Best Bank for SMEs from Asia Money and SME Bank of the Year Philippines from Asian Banking and Finance, Asia's Best Bank Transformation from Euromoney, and Employer of the Year Awards from Stevie Awards for Great Employers, Asian Banking and Finance, and HR Asia, among many others. And of course, one that makes everything worthwhile, I guess, and worth it is being one of the top most helpful banks in Asia Pacific during COVID-19. So we really stand firm in our promise to power the future of banking through our Tech Up Pilipinas advocacy to best serve the growing needs of Filipinos everywhere, while continuing to pioneer innovations for a better world. So as you've mentioned, I am lucky to have been part of the group that harnesses emerging technology and pioneering innovations in the bank as head of the blockchain and API business group. And yeah, it's just happy that we tried to we tried to leverage on both our culture and technology and piece all of these together to help create solutions for a better world.
Catherine, congratulations. This is incredible set of achievements over the last 2 years, and as you rightly said, the most remarkable being rated as one of the most helpful bank during the pandemic, and obviously that will go a long way in strengthening the connect which you have with your customer as well as with the employees. And I love the fact that you talked about how cultural change is really the core of getting so many recognitions and making so much of progress on the on ground. And in today's discussion, we're going to zoom in a lot more onto the API conversation for sure. But before we get started on the API conversation, our audience would also benefit to understand the unique context in which Philippines market is evolving, whether it in terms of the customer preferences or the competition landscape or the changing regulation, as well as the key business opportunities and challenges Union Bank is going after.
Yeah, sure. Well, I guess in terms of probably it would be best for us to have some context as to how banking has evolved here in the Philippines, right? And in the context of, customer expectations, a competitive landscape, and our regulations. By this time, I guess the overarching thesis is that, that customer behavior continues to evolve at an exponential rate, and that it will not slow down so that the banks can catch up, has already seeped into even the most conservative and traditional banking sector. I guess at this time, almost all banks have, or at least have started to talk about digitalization, enhancing customer experiences as part of their strategy. Interestingly, though, it wasn't the competitive landscape. We've seen the rise and proliferation of the fintechs since 2017, and this has been growing since then, slowly and purposefully capturing a growing share of our market. Nor was it the regulatory framework that was, already very supportive of the much-needed upgrade, even, relaxing some of its provisions and increasingly pushing for innovation for the sake of inclusive prosperity that pulled the trigger. It actually took a global, unexpected, historically life-altering pandemic to accelerate or even prompt the openness of traditional banking institutions to veer away from their comfort zones and decades-old business models, as customers are all forced to go online. So with the push now coming from all fronts, market, changing consumer behavior, evolving technology, and regulatory drivers, I see banking in the Philippines at an inflection point. So that's where we are now. And I know that we are about to see a major overhaul, not just of technological systems in banking, but more so a real shift in both mindset and possibly the creation of new business models. So over the next years, the landscape and the shape of banking will be more and more defined by the availability of new technology, new regulations here, not just here, but also globally. So while I have been responding to this, of course, in the context of the broader banking industry, of course, Union Bank's journey was different, right? We took the bold step actually to take what we can probably say as the road less traveled at that time. So apparently it was a good choice, and nothing ever goes wrong if you put the customer at the center and then you leverage on both technology and regulation to provide the best possible experience from them end to end. So that was the context at which all of these API marketplace, all these blockchain initiatives of the bank are anchored on.
Well said, Catherine. Indeed, when you start with customer in the center and solving the problems the customer really has, using the modern technologies, there are immense possibilities. And I also love the fact that you articulated how banking will continue to unbundle and rebundle in a variety of different ways. And the work which you're doing, your API marketplace, is obviously the conduit of making this rebundling happen at speed and with purpose. And that's let's zoom into this API conversation now. Tell us a little bit about API journey. When did you guys start? How has been the journey so far?
Yeah, so the API marketplace wasn't born out of luck or chance. It was actually, as mentioned, anchored on the bank's strategy to innovate or perish a few years back, even before the open finance framework of the BSP, or central bank, came out. So at that time, the bank courageously decided to act ahead of its competitors to open up, indeed, open banking in the Philippines, something that most banks are not excited about. As mentioned earlier, Union Bank was the first bank in the Philippines that included, as part of its digital transformation execution, working with the fintechs. So even those who are very vocal about disrupting banks through banking them, enabling partnering, or even investing in them. And part of the initiative was setting up this API developer portal that will allow these fintechs to be able to access or even provide financial services for their own customers. So this initiative actually leveraged on our internal API platform, which the bank created as part of its digital journey, of which, of course, credit is really due to both the leaders and the team that brought this to life. Of course, our leaders, and I'd like to mention also the bank's API expert, Ms. Chris Tismo, who was one of the key people that made this happen for us, and our enterprise architecture team that ensured everything is mapped out properly in our blueprint. So as part of our digital shift, we did not build a new technology, nor replaced it, but redesigned it in a way that allowed us to be able to quickly roll out digital products and services, essentially by converting every important process in our system into microservices that leverages on APIs for the bank to use. So we embraced our existing system and had an API-first approach. And to optimize this API investment and extract more value for the bank, this open API developer portal was then created and an API business unit was established. So allowing this technology to become a new distribution channel for the bank. So from technology to a new business model. So it brought about, aside from enabling a new business model, it also brought about, of course, new sources of revenue for the bank, as well as indirect acquisition of customers through enabling our partner aggregators. So initially, just to continue with the journey, it was created first, of course, for the fintech firms. They were, the first to build applications so that they are the first that we plugged in. And then market expanded to corporations, the bigger corporations. You also went digital, especially after the pandemic. And then supported also those who wanted a whole banking suite. For example, like we had co-branding card arrangements with the bank and then providing them with all the Lego pieces, technology pieces they need to build a white labeled app. So the idea is to better meet the needs of consumers and businesses who are increasingly becoming more digital and who want different experiences that allow us to be able to reach not the underserved, but also optimally serve, as our Vice Chairman, Dr. Justo Ortiz, tells us, whose, of course, vision has been our North Star during this whole transformation journey, calls it the customer segment of one. So this portal was expanded into a marketplace that leverages now on platform network effect for growth, but allowing also other non-banking providers to digitally redistribute their services and products in the marketplace. So we built this in-house, so it could create a unique platform tailored to the evolving needs and preferences of today's customers. So even for the portal, we made use of our APIs instead of using an off-the-rack application, true to our word of being an API-first company. So the bank also sought to give clients the best experience possible when browsing through the API catalog by incorporating unique features from leading tech platforms such as a Netflix-like experience. And also a really comprehensive documentation similar to Facebook developers. Of the portal of Facebook, each API contains also documentation for business leaders to understand the API's business value. And also, you also have, of course, technical version of that one for the technical readers to get started with development straight away. So as mentioned, we're not limiting it to just banking products. Other fintechs can actually publish non-banking APIs too, like telco, airtime credits, e-gift vouchers, and weather information, things that a bank would not normally do.
Oh, very inspiring, Catherine. And I love the way you articulated the journey, how it started from a call to action of innovate or perish, and then starting with fintech partners, corporate partners, and then moving on to broader set of industries as well as neo-banking use cases. And in the process, empowering anyone to mix and match capabilities exposed by these APIs to create new experiences and more embedded experiences. I'm very curious on what have been the most popular use cases that you're seeing in the market. Which are the APIs which are getting the highest traction, and what are some of those unique use cases which have come to market over the last many years since the time you have started?
Yeah, I guess the most popular use case, which of course accelerated also during the pandemic and the lockdowns, is in the area of payments. So it was mainly used to facilitate payments, collections, and then disbursements. So enabling not just wallet providers, but now also businesses from startups to big enterprises to even government agencies now, allowing them to facilitate online trade and transactions, and then also manage their bank account transactions directly via their own core accounting system. But we are also seeing a lot of interest in account information related APIs, KYC APIs, foreign exchange, and also investments from our clients and potential clients. So I'm excited to see also how this will play out in the future.
Oh, absolutely. And you're right. I think for most banks, payments have been the most popular use case, considering how many times as an individual or as a business, we need to, either collect some money or pay some money, and how effective it is for one to do it in the application of their choice, or, particularly from business, small as well as large business, who have to process thousands of payments and reconcile. And excited about the other use cases which are emerging, and all the very best for you as you grow those lines of business through those APIs. If you were to summarize the kind of success you have seen with the API marketplace, and what is the really way forward, how would you describe for our audience today?
Yeah, well, this API marketplace was responsible for us being able to rake in more than $200 million in transactions for the bank, which we otherwise would not have gotten from our own channels, right? So out of the 2,200 API endpoints of the bank, more than 220 of these are already readily available to our partners, allowing us to build 100 API products, and which is being used now by over 87 live customers and partners. So with a healthy client pipeline of over 300 more consumers that we've seen, especially during the past 2 years, these numbers are expected to grow exponentially also over the coming years. Everybody wants to do things themselves, right? Incorporate and personalize things. So I guess that's where the APIs have come in. And in terms of internal value, of course, processes and the data flows, which are previously disjointed, inefficient, tedious, and prone to human error, have improved as well. So by leveraging on our APIs, we were able to address issues while enhancing our core banking and streamlining our day-to-day operations. We've also seen cost savings of around 17 million pesos, or around $300,000 from its API texture push. So internally, APIs triggered a change in pace to further expand our architecture through injection of innovative enhancements and open collaboration with external experts. So key projects of the bank have leveraged on our open APIs. When UnionBank launched our first ever fully digital branch, the ARC, it used APIs, of course, from the platform, enabling streamlining, integration, and quicker time to market. Also, it's worth mentioning that almost 40% of our API clients are new to bank. So I guess it's a testament that open banking APIs are a potent acquisition tool. 82% of which are fintechs, which also prove that this is the right product for the market segment that the bank has set its sights early on. But then, of course, this profile is changing as everybody goes and wants to become a fintech or fintech-like. So lastly, 25% are also global and regional companies, some of which have expressed satisfaction on our wide API catalog, onboarding experience, and system integrity. So since the start, we have given the bank access to over 30 million Filipinos through our API partners. So by end 2021, nearly 40% of fintechs in the Philippines alone is powered by APIs on UnionBank's marketplace. So the growing importance of UnionBank's API marketplace to our partners is also one of our measures of success, as it has allowed our partner fintechs and other innovative companies to be able to tap into our banking and other functionalities, so that these are offered at speed to their customers as well, in ways that are highly personalized. So in other words, opening up our APIs and the marketplace fulfills our purpose of elevating lives and enabling communities through smart banking, either directly or indirectly through our partners, as it continues to promote inclusion by making financial services accessible to a greater customer base, many of which are in the developing world, or the unbanked population, individuals and SMEs. And of course, we are also happy that this platform has greatly supported businesses and customers during the pandemic. So moving forward, of course, success will be determined by how much we listen to our customers, both the users of the platforms as well as their stakeholders, and how agile we are in terms of ensuring the best possible experience for them.
First of all, congratulations, Catherine. Those numbers are incredible. And you're so right that the work which you have done with your API marketplace is indeed the cornerstone for you to achieve your purpose of serving customer better and be the future bank that you're trying to be in the Philippines as well as in the region. And we are super excited that we have been part of this journey. And to conclude this conversation, I would like to ask, give us your impressions of the partnership which the bank has with Infosys Finacle.
Well, of course, crucial to a sustainable business model is having a trusted and stable core banking system, which Infosys Finacle has provided us with. Needless to say, they have been a major partner of the bank. And a partner, not just simply a vendor. So they, understand the bank's digital transformation strategy and even anticipate the technological demands of the organization. So in the case of the API marketplace, they were a great enabler in terms of allowing us to be able to execute our API first approach strategy, the decision of which then was to redesign instead of replace. So this allowed us to pivot safely into this API first directive. And similar to this, they enable the delivery of all of our bank's products and services. And as the bank continues to evolve, we expect this partnership to continue to evolve and strengthen as well as we progress towards our goal to move another 10 steps ahead. And as you've mentioned, by bringing this core banking system to the cloud. So we really look forward to more years of fruitful and productive partnerships ahead.
Thank you so much, Catherine. And we are equally excited about the journey ahead. And we deeply respect the opportunity the bank has given us to be the partner of choice in this journey. And I would like to thank you once again for joining us here and sharing your journey and insights and experience which are helpful to us, as well as several of the viewers who are watching us on this video chat today. And we'll stay in touch, and I'm sure we're going to have lots of milestones to celebrate together. Thank you again for joining us, all the viewers. And I hope you enjoyed this conversation. Stay tuned on our social channels for many such insightful discussions with global banking leaders. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.